A strong critique that Nietzsche makes against Christianity and other world religions is that they can use the idea of an afterlife as a form of escapism from pain and suffering here on earth. He writes, "From their misery they sought escape, and the stars were too far for them. Then they sighed, would that there were heavenly paths by which to sneak into another existence and into happiness. Then they contrived for themselves their secret ways and bloody potions." Now, I'm religious, and I'm not saying that belief in an afterlife is bad. Instead, the message I'm trying to get across in this episode is to not use the idea of God and an afterlife as a way to escape this life in the here and now. Instead, Nietzsche challenges us to say yes to life. He writes, "For the game of creating, my brothers, a sacred yes to life is needed. The spirit now wills its own will. The one who had lost the world now attains its own world." I want to repeat that. A sacred yes to life is needed, and the spirit now wills its own will. For Christians, this may sound blasphemous. After all, in the Lord's Prayer, we pray to God, "Thy will be done." We say that it is God's will, not ours, that guides our lives. But this is the tension that I want to bring out, because I think that this thinking is backwards. After all, it's our will, first and foremost, that chooses to pray the prayer that God's will be done. We will that God's will be done. We cannot remove our own will, and so Nietzsche's call is to take responsibility for our will and for our lives, and to not patch our weaknesses by calling them holy. He writes, "Of defects did the spirit of those saviors consist, but into every defect had they put their illusion, their stopgap, which they called God." For example, if someone is afraid to speak up for themselves and what they want, it can be tempting for that person to call their fear pious humility or meekness, when in reality, it's a weakness that they need to overcome. Or if someone is afraid to take a risk in beginning a new relationship or a new job, it can be tempting to wait for God to show them the path so that His will be done, but they end up missing the opportunity. In these and other scenarios, it's tempting to transform our weaknesses into holy virtues. Nietzsche is warning against that, and he writes that we must embrace life and then overcome it. "Your highest thought, however, you shall have it commanded to you by me, and it is this: man is something that is to be surpassed." Nietzsche's philosophy is difficult. It calls for complete responsibility and accountability. It can feel pleasant to look forward to an afterlife and block out our life here on earth when it becomes difficult, or to use God as a band-aid to cover up our weaknesses. But Nietzsche says this is weakness and life denying. This life must be affirmed and lived fully, which for Nietzsche means working through the suffering and overcoming it again and again. If you're interested in learning more about how Nietzsche's philosophy applies today, then subscribe to follow along, and I hope to see you in the next episode.